Hello everybody, this is Samir from Microsoft. I'm a National Technology Lead for Communications. It's called TSP Communications in Health and Life Science. I'm from Los Angeles and I'm here to cover the PSTN Conferencing and PSTN Calling. They're two different things. How can we, like a lot of our customers asking, hey, how do I try this? How do I add these licenses? How do I enable users for the trial? And how do I kind of test this, right? So I'm going to cover all this, licensing and activation and how to enable the user for those purposes, right? So I'm going to cover first PSTN conferencing. So PSTN conferencing service from Office 365 is, so you have to add a PSTN conferencing license into your portal. So to do that, go to billing and subscription. And for PSTN conferencing, for this trial purpose, we're going to add an E5 license, okay? If you don't have E5 license, then you can try a trial. You can go to add subscription. And, come on. There we go. So, you can just click on this three little dot here and then it will say trial, right? Start trial. If you already tried in the past for whatever reason, then you may not be able to add again. So you have to reach out to your account team in Microsoft and they may be able to help, right? If you never tried before, easy to add is start free trial. So E5 has a PSTN conferencing built in, right? It has a component that's already in E5. If you have any other licenses like E3 or E1, right? So then you may have to add a PSTN conferencing add-on, like a lot, additional component to your licensing. So I'm not a licensing expert so you need to reach out to your account manager and see, hey, I need to add a PSTN conferencing, what do I need? So they will look into your account and exactly guide you what you need. But with this demo purpose, I'm just going to add an E5 as a trial and apply the E5 license to the user, and we're done, right? So once you have this trial added into your subscription, right? Once you add that, you will see that PSTN conferencing, E5 trial is added into your trial account, right? This is into your tenant. So now you go to active users, and all you need is go to Dr. 1, for example, and assign E5. Okay. If you have any other licensing that conflicts with E5, then you may have to disable other licensing and enable E5 for the user. Okay, it's not going to, sometimes it doesn't allow E5 to be added if you don't have proper prerequisite or other licenses that conflicts with E5. So you need to disable any other licensing and enable E5, and make sure you write down whatever you're disabling and enabling. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us and we may be able to help you and guide you into that. But the point is E5 gives you that PSTN conferencing. Okay, so now all you have to do is enable that, and that's it. So once you enable that, you need to go to Skype for Business Admin Center, and the way to go is at the bottom of Skype for Business, and go to dial-in conferencing and select the dial-in conferencing for that user, right? So you have different cities. You can select the default for your region or your city. Okay, so right now default is United States, Los Angeles. So if the user schedules a meeting, this number will show up in the invite. Okay, and then when the meeting is sent out, the attendees can dial into this number, or they can dial into other numbers available. I will show you in a minute. And if you do need a toll-free number, you can get a toll-free number, but you need a consumption billing. So to consumption billing is if you go to the same place billing subscription and add subscription, and go all the way bottom at the page, and here's a consumption billing. You can buy now. It will ask you credit card. You have to provide credit card and maybe $10 or $20 to try. That is non-refundable. Yeah, that is something. It's going to bill your whatever amount you slated for this try. Okay. All right. So now, once you have that consumption billing going, you need to get the phone numbers for the service, right? That for a toll-free number. And once you have consumption billing added, go to new service number and acquire a toll-free number as a service number, and you can assign that number to the conferencing. Okay, So you go toll free. Right now I don't have a consumption billing, right? So I will not be able to acquire, but you can. You just hit 1 and good to go. Once you have the service number assigned, and you can go to again dialing conferencing and dialing users, and let's say go to Dr. 1 and edit, and now you can select the phone number for the user. That this Los Angeles is their default toll number, and then the toll-free number, which I don't have it, but once you have that number acquired, you can get into the toll-free number and then save it. Once you save it, the user will get notification via email, say, hey, you have now, we enable you for PSTN conferencing. Let me show you what it looks like in email. So let me open my Outlook, and it's coming up. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like, right? So hey, Dr. 1, your conference number, dialing conferencing pin, and whatever, all the information. But then we also change the number to now new number. So every time you make any changes, the user will get notified. All right, so that's the conferencing. Once you assign that, that's it. So you go to, our users go to Outlook calendar, click on new Skype meeting, and come on, there, bingo. So 10-digit number, the access code. So the 10-digit number, you can have same number for all the entire users populations in your company, but access code, the conference ID will be different. Every meeting is scheduled, the conference ID will be unique, so there is no overlap for the, this is great for security. And if the attendees happen to be in different location, different city, different country, they can click on find a local number, and you can see there are many countries available. So anybody, I was happened to be in, I was in Bangkok, so I was looking for a number. Thailand, where is Thailand? TPTTT. So I was in Thailand last summer, so I dialed this number and I joined the US meeting, and there is no cost because I was dialing locally, and there's no minute cost in Thailand, and then there is no minute for the organization who schedules the meeting. It's all all covered for the flat fee licensing model. Okay, now let's go back to the portal. Where is it? Okay, so I think now you can have a great idea, right? So it's very easy to configure in conferencing. All you have to apply is a E5 license or PSTN conferencing license, and all you have to do is provide the default what number you want to assign to the user. Like Dr. 1 has this default number or toll-free number, which you need a PSTN consumption billing, and good to go. That's it. That's all you need for configuration standpoint. Now let's switch gear to PSTN calling. The PSTN calling allows user to make the phone call like a regular telephone. It's not a meeting, so you can use it as like your desk phone. Okay. So how do I do that? How do we enable those for the users? Let's go back to admin center. So go to subscription, and I have this services already added into my portal. But what you need is PSTN domestic calling trial. It's already available in the tenant. If you tried before, it may not be available again, but if you have not tried before, so you can go to add subscription. Now go bottom of the page, and you see the domestic calling plan. So you see the 3 button. You should see a free trial, like what is it? Oh, it's already added, so that it doesn't give me, and this doesn't give me the option. So it's already added, right? So once you have this in trial, you can just click in here, free trial, and it will add into your subscription. So once you have that license, let's say this license, now you go to user and apply that license to the user. So let's say in this case I'm going to apply it to Dr. 2, and Dr. 2 has E5 and is Sky for Business domestic calling plan, right? So E5, think of E5 as like a telephone, like your telephone, cell phone, and then this second one is like a minutes, right? So you'll get domestic, I believe, 3,000 minutes per user. If you have a 10 user in your organization, so everybody gets 3,000 minutes, but then it goes to the pool. The 3,000 times 10 is 30,000, right? And the 30,000 minutes per organization. So you all will be sharing that minutes to each other. Okay, so if somebody makes 29,000, then everybody, the rest of the people has 1,000 minutes. So kind of give you an example of what it means. All right, so I'm going to close this. So now we need to assign a telephone number to the user, and I think you already know in a regular or in a real environment, or if you have a Cisco and Avaya in a legacy environment, not real, a legacy environment, if you need to assign a number and you need to request a number, it takes maybe a week or maybe 10 days to get a number. And if you don't have a PRI, if you don't have enough DIDs, then and you need to acquire from the telco, then it's going to even take a couple of weeks to get the number, right? In Office 365, you get a number on the fly. Okay, so let's say I need a number for Dr. 2. I need to go to +sign and phone numbers and new user number. Now I can select, let's say Colorado. I need a number for Colorado, and Denver, let's say Denver, and I need one number for Dr. 2. And you can assign, like, I can acquire 36 numbers. So more the users you have, more the numbers you can acquire. So this is demo. So I'm only getting 36 numbers to acquire. So number is acquired, and now you go back and go to emergency locations, add your address of your office. So when there is a 911 call, then emergency personnel will show up in this address. Okay. So now go to voice users tab. So I have Dr. 2, and I want to assign a number to Dr. 2. He's in Colorado. He's in Colorado, and here's his address. Don't worry about this address. This is California. You can assign whatever address you can, but make sure your address and the person, wherever he is matches. Okay, this is just a trial. All right, so that is done. And what happens now is in Skype for Business Client, you will see this dial pad. Okay, once that is done, the user will have dial pad able to make the call. See, there's my number. It displays the number and make and receive calls. And your voicemail is here. All the voicemail will list here. You receive voicemail in email. Transcription is enabled, and this is great. And a lot of my customers actually forwarding their Avaya or Cisco phone to this number in Skype, so that their desk phone doesn't ring. You can leave with your Bluetooth, so it will automatically ring Skype for Business, and you can make and receive calls. Now, if you do want to make the custom digit dialing, so I want to make the 4-digit or 7-digit dialing and an Avaya phone ring. So let's say I want to dial 3335, and my another user in Avaya world or Cisco world that phone rings. Then yeah, we can configure that as well. We need to install something called Cloud Connector Edition appliance, and then you can configure that interdigit dialing in between these two systems. Okay. And if you what else? And then if you do want to install if the user while this testing they would like to test a phone, right? Here I want to see what kind of phone I can configure to, right? So one of the example is you could audio codes IP phones 450 SD. This is a touchscreen color phone. It's amazing. You can see a meeting calendar, touchscreen, one meeting join, everything built in. All the presence information. So how powerful it is to make the call to somebody. You can see the presence on the phone. Now you can see it's available, not available before you even make the call. That's important, right? Now also there's another one called Polycom VVX600 phone. These are the great phones in the market today, made by these two companies, and you can use this phone for Skype for Business. Great things, you don't need VPN. You can just plug it in, power on, and just log in with your AD, Active Directory or your cloud credentials, the user ID and password that you created, and that's it. It will log in, and you have these numbers working for you. A couple of things. You can install these phones, these conference phones, the Spider phone that has a one-touch meeting join. So you walk into the conference room and you can join the meeting. There's a common area phones. You have a sidecar, executive secretary phones. They can see the presence of other people on the phone. That's powerful, right? And also video Surface Hubs, video units, and all kinds of gears you can connect with the Skype for Business, and make users can be more efficient in that manner. And also you can see here, Skype for Business can be integrated into many different use cases, right? And then patients at home, hospitals, rural treatment center, community health center, physician's office, audio, video, conferencing, everything is all can be integrated with your EHR, with our Skype bits. So it all can be collaboratively communications going in real time. This is powerful. And then lastly, there are a lot of things to cover. This is just a quick 15 minutes video. So there's a port orders. You can, if you have a number you want to port to the Microsoft and you can assign to the Skype, you can. So you can start your porting number, and then in 1 week or two, we can migrate your number to Microsoft, and you can assign the number to your users. Like, you know, it will appear here, and you can assign to the users. Okay, I think I covered a lot here, and it's if you have any questions, here is my contact details. Here's my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me, and I will be glad to help. Thank you, and have a great day.